Up here in the booth. And the Mariners, as you know, a lot of good things going on, and one of them is the offense here at home. And Mike, some numbers to support the recent good run.
One of the things that Lloyd had talked about was playing better at home. 5-2 over the last 7 games at Safeco Field, a .300 batting average. How about 11 home runs and scoring over 6 runs a game? The one thing that this club has shown is that they can pitch and play defense anywhere. They've had a really good road record this year. Now things turning around at home. Just a couple of games under 500 because of this latest run.
It's a lot of good stuff there as the Cleveland Indians come to town. Right now, time for a Seattle City Light Power Play. How about Mike Zunino with the home runs here?
It's been great to see home runs in 4 of his last 5 games. We talked about the 11 home runs in the last 7 games here at Safeco Field. Well, Mike's been a big part of that. So it's good to see Mike. He has to work hard every night. You know, you see him behind the plate. But good to see him adding with some offense and hitting a lot of home runs here. Not even at the first half yet.
11 home runs, leads the American League third in the Major Leagues. A roster move today. Michael Saunders is back in the lineup. Option to Tacoma Jesus Montero.
Well, it's great to see Saunders back and in the lineup, as you mentioned, hitting 7th tonight. But Saunders is really playing well before he ended up hurting his shoulder, having to go on the DL. So for the Mariners, we just showed you the offensive numbers. Michael's somebody that can really help and add to that as he's hitting 7th towards the bottom of the lineup tonight. But he was on a good run before he went on the disabled list. Hopefully, he'll pick up where he left off.
Keep that shoulder from popping out again. Tell you. Hey, the Cleveland Indians are in town, and if the Mariners have some hard feelings towards them, you can understand, given the 4 games they lost in Cleveland last year, getting walked off in 3 of those 4 games. We'll continue with more of our pregame show right after this timeout. Sports is being brought to you by Ford. We are local. By AT&T, mobilizing your world. And by the Emerald Queen Casino, where there's a world of dining opportunities from gourmet Asian cuisine to the legendary seafood buffet. As we look at Fort Flagler State Park at Marlstone Island near Port Townsend, northern end of Puget Sound. As we welcome you back to Mariner Baseball. Let's talk pitching right now. We got a generational conflict here tonight. Got a 23-year-old Trevor Bauer against 35-year-old Chris Young. And our CenturyLink link to what's next. Chris Young has just been tremendous for the Mariners this year.
Well, I think that he's been really good this year. Already 6 wins. Has a chance to get a 7th win before the halfway point. He has pitched some innings for him, which you like to see, helping out with the bullpen and getting those guys some days off from time to time. But more importantly, he's pitched great here at this ballpark. So for Chris, at the end of spring training, the Mariners able to sign him as he was let go by the Nationals. Might be one of the bigger signs they've had this year. Chris Young, somebody that people really don't talk a lot about, but he's pitched well.
Trevor Bauer was the 11th pick overall a few years ago against Arizona. And he's going to face a veteran guy here, Chris Young, who's just had so much success here.
Well, if I told you that Chris Young was 3rd in the American League with a .214 opponent's batting average against, people probably think, well, it's Pete Felix, maybe Iwakun. No, it's Chris Young, 3rd in the American League in opponent's batting average against, and he has pitched well at Safeco. 5-2 record, a 2.23 ERA. Everybody talks about him being a fly ball pitcher. Well, you have to make him hit the fly balls out into the big part of the ballpark from the gaps down to center field, and he does an excellent job here at Safeco Field.
Mariners coming in after taking 2 out of 3 from Boston. They're 15-9 here in the month of June, looking to continue this run of prosperity and stay in the hunt for a playoff spot. Cleveland Indians in town, first of a weekend series. Glad you've joined us. The Tribe, the Mariners. First pitch is straight ahead. On this cloudy Friday night here in Seattle, a great look from North Beacon Hill as we look down towards Safeco Field, where tonight the Cleveland Indians are in town for a 3-game set. Welcome to Mariner Baseball, everybody. Dave Sims, Mike Flowers, Root Sports crew on hand here. Fireworks night coming up after the ball game, and hopefully the Mariner offense will provide some fireworks tonight as well. Let's take a look at the Indians batting order that will face Chris Young.
The Indians a couple games under 500, but their offense has not been the problem. As you look at their offense, 7th in average, 4th in runs, 5th in walks. But Bourne will lead things off. Dennis Cabrera, Michael Brantley having a great year for them, 325 average. Since May 14th, 373 with 5 home runs and 21 RBIs. And at Santana, Kipnis, Chisenhall, Gomes, Swisher, the veteran of the DH, he will hit 8. And Murphy rounding out the 9 for the Indians. And for Chris Young, spent a lot of time talking about Chris. He's really pitched well this year. 43 strikeouts, 34 walks for him. Opponents again hitting just .214. That's 3rd in the American League. 6-4 record for Chris. And the defense playing behind him. Ackley in left, Jones in center. Michael Saunders back in the deal. He'd be out in right field. Seager at 3rd. Miller and Cano playing at the middle. Morrison, your first baseman, and Mike Zunino will do the catching.
Here we go. Ball 1 to Michael Bourne. Leadoff man hitting at .271, a couple home runs and 18 runs batted in. Very comfortable, 66 degrees here in Seattle. Winds are calm. Umpires for tonight's ballgame, Doug Eddings behind home plate. Marvin Hudson at first, Brian Onora at 2nd, and Adam Hamori at 3rd. Bouncing ball. And taking it on the slide and just beating the speedy Bourne as Logan Morrison, 1 down.
I'm not sure if Logan Morrison thought that Bourne was going to be Young to the base, because originally he was going to toss it to Chris Young as he was going over to cover, but then decided to keep it and just beats him to the base. Looks like Chris gets over in good shape. Again, he was going to underhand flip it and then decided to just race him to the bag.
Yeah, he saw the acceleration of Mr. Bourne as one of the faster guys around. Morrison having a good run at first base these days. Here's Cabrera as Drupal Cabrera, switch hitter. 5 lefties and 3 switch hitters in Terry Francona's lineup here tonight. Terry Francona, talking to him before the game, said the defense has not been up to par. Cabrera is a little bit off this year in terms of errors, and as a team, they're dead last in defense while the Mariners are first.
It's been a struggle for him in the field. They've committed almost twice as many errors as the Mariners have. The Mariners first in defense. Left-handed hitters, by the way, hitting just .218 off of Chris Young.
Good number. Terry in his 2nd year with Cleveland. That one well beyond the reach of Mr. Zunino, 2-2. Terry leading the Boston Red Sox. A couple of World Series titles in 04 and in 07, and last year's first year with Cleveland. Tribe was the 1 seed in a wild card. Goes down the line at foul.
Indians' troubles this year has been their defense, along with their pitching. They're 12th in ERA.
2-2. Swing and a miss. He gets Cabrera. 2 away.
Go-to pitch, high fastball, just 86 miles an hour. Chris's average fastball just above 85, a little bit more than 85 miles an hour. That one at 86. But again, at the top of the strike zone.
Brings up Michael Brantley, 5th leading hitter in the American League. 325, 12 homers, and 51 runs batted in. Francona said one of the keys to Brantley's success this year hasn't changed much, except he's a lot stronger, he said, in his base setup.
Well, you can tell by the 12 home runs already for him.
He said that's been the biggest improvement. Good company there. Brantley trailing Altuve. Head of Beltre, Crisp, and Mike Trout. Mariners, the last time they saw Cleveland, won 2 out of 3 here at Safeco Field. But before that, traumatic time in May last year. May 17-20. Mariners went in there 20-21. They'd had a great series in New York, feeling good. And then lost all 4 games. Got walked off 3 times. Lost 2 games in extra innings to these Cleveland Indians. And that was the beginning of an 8-game losing streak. And see you later for that season.
So what do we have to do? Remember just one more time?
Right.
That was brutal. Yeah. I mean, it was a situation where, like you mentioned, they were really playing some good baseball. And that series in New York, guys were feeling good about themselves. And not to just lose the 4 games, but the way that they lost them was difficult. And they just never were able to recover from it.
And Gomes had a 2-home run game. I think that was in game 4. That was the game that went into extras when Wilhelmsen couldn't get the 3rd out at first base on a flip from Smoke. That was easily. There was a lot of tough games last year, but that was the toughest series easily.
Oh, I think so. Well, as you would expect, Brantley making Chris work here, having a good year, hitting .325, 12 home runs. Let's see what he did a year ago, just .271 with 5 home runs.
Better use of that lower half. You were talking about that a couple of nights ago. There's a line drive right to Miller, and that'll do it for the Tribe here in the first. And a good start for Chris Young. Mariners coming to bat. Andy Chavez, James Jones, and Robinson Cano when we get back here to Safeco Field. Souvenir, she's having fun already early in the ball game. Not bad. Good look at the anemometer. Hopefully that will continue to tell us the weather's going to be fine for the fireworks show. And Rob is in charge of the roof. Now, if it does rain, they're only going to they'll close the roof about halfway, and they'll still be able to put on the spectacular fireworks show. Let's take a look at the Mariner lineup that will face young Trevor Bauer.
Mariners lineup brought to you by Chevron. Andy Chavez, the DH, will lead off, and then it's Jones, Cano. Cano, looking at the thing today, he's 6th in the American League. Takes a day off, and he falls to 6th in hitting. .324 average for him. Seager, Morrison, Zunino, what a run he has been on, hitting 6th. Then it's Saunders back in the lineup, hitting 7th. Ackley and Miller rounding out the 9 for the Mariners. For Bauer, a 4.40 ERA, 2-3 record, 47 strikeouts in the 47 innings that he has worked, 18 walks. Opponents hitting .274. He has given up 8 home runs. Good fastball. He'll be 93 to 95 miles an hour. Also mix in a changeup and his breaking ball, but he'll throw a lot of fastballs.
First time the Mariners are seeing him. Ball 1 to Andy Chavez. DHing today. 3rd time this season for Indy as the designated hitter. strike from Bauer. Bauer hails from North Hollywood, California, 23 years old. As you look at the highest on-base percentage leading off an inning, we got 2 of them here in this building. Good second baseman Jason Kipnis for Cleveland. 1-2.
Good changeup from Bauer.
Two and two. Bauer out of UCLA, first round pick by the Diamondbacks in 2011. In 2012 with the Diamondbacks went 1-2 in 4 games. 2-2 here in Indy. Backs him off. Full count. James Jones on deck. Backhanded by Cabrera. Jump throw. Indy digging for it. He smelled that base hit, didn't he? Good start here for the Mariners. Indy Chavez is got a hitting streak working now. 5 games. He's 7 for his last 13.
And we showed the average for Indy leading off an inning. That will go up with that base hit. Defense for the Indians. Brantley in left, Bourne in center, Murphy out in right. Chisenhall, the third baseman. Cabrera and Kipnis playing up the middle. Former catcher, now first baseman, Carlos Santana will be at first, and Gomes will do the catching. And a close play at first, but Indy, the veteran, he could smell a hit. Able to beat it out. Good play by Cabrera.
Chisenhall creeping in at third as Jones looks at strike one.
Thought it was interesting today, Dave, getting here early as we do and getting a chance to watch the guys. They had early batting practice. Then they had early bunting practice. Jones was one of the guys out for that. Then they had an infield practice. And then they decided to take their regular BP.
Center field, Bourne coming on, and he's there to make the catch. Chavez is able to retreat. 1 away. Just before we came back from break. And an odometer there, and then a 747 of Korean Airlines. Right into the view. En route down to SeaTac. 1 out, 1 on.
I thought it was great to see the guys put in all the work they had yesterday off. Had the golf tournament, which was, I'm sure, a lot of fun for them. But right back at it. Lloyd running the guys out for a lot of early work, get them through the paces again.
Here's Cano, 6th leading hitter in the American League. Seen a lot of that first game of the series, home or road. It's been good. Been refreshing change, a refreshing addition.
Well, it's been fun to watch, and we've talked about it with the shifts that we've seen. 2 of the left-handed hitters that were out working on the bunting were both Seager and Morrison, who we've seen the shifts against, and they were looking at pushing the ball towards the left side of the infield. And I think it was in the last game, maybe a couple of games ago, Morrison ended up getting a bunt base hit.
Tried to get a few down in Kansas City. And he got one down here against Boston. Trevor Bauer against Robinson Cano. Cano 3 for 13 here in the homestand. Cano, the only Mariners starter previously faced Bauer. He's 1 for 3. Two and one.
And it's a good group of hitters that are in front of him. Altuve leading the league in hitting. And then you have Victor Martinez. Miguel Cabrera starting to heat up. Beltre. Like Brantley, who's playing in this game today, hitting 5th. And then it's Cano 6th.
Trout has come on. He's right behind him. Alex Rios, Kurt Suzuki, and Jose Bautista round out the top 10. Not a big lead by Indy at first. 2-1 to Cano. 2-2. Lefty's hitting .262 against Bauer with 3 home runs. Overall, .274 opponent batting average against. Good look in from center field. We're above the A and Safeco there. Two to Cano. Indy takes off. Pitch swung on. Drilled to center. Bourne makes the catch. Indy had his head up, saw it all the way. 2 out to bring up Kyle Seager. On fire this homestand. 8 for his last 13. Team leader in homers, extra base hits, and RBI. And at Safeco Field, he's ripping it up. 341 compared to 201 on the road. 11 of his 12 homers have been right here.
And you can see he's hit well against the Indians with that .377 average. And we're talking about the shift. The Indians will put it on right now with Kyle hitting.
Ball 1 to Kyle.
Kyle's been able to push that batting average up to .267 now. He's had to do some work. His first 3 weeks of the season were a struggle. Struggling badly. He was in that 150 range without a home run and just 2 RBIs. And now, as you mentioned, Dave, leading the club in home runs and RBIs. So he's been hot.
Right before this segment, remember you detailed it accurately so. The atom balls. He hit balls right at people for what, about a 10, seemed like a 10-day stretch.
Yeah, it was difficult for him to find some outfield grass and pick up some base hits, but that changed.
There's a strike 1-1.
A lot of times you can't just look at the box score and see what the end result is going to be. You have to see the type of at bats that these guys are putting together. And you were talking about Kyle. We saw the same thing from Morrison when he first came back. I thought he swung the bat well in Kansas City, and then all of a sudden the floodgates opened up here at home.
1-1 to Seager. 2 out, and Chavez at first. 2-1. Runner goes. It's down and in, and Yan Gomes can't get it out of his hand there. Double clutch. After the first clutch he saw, Indy was pretty much there. So Chavez with a stolen bases first of the year.
Picks the right pitch to run on it to change up in the dirt, and Gomes was able to pick it cleanly but couldn't get the handle.
Indy 1 out of 2 now. For the Mariners at stolen base number 42. 11th in the league in that category. 3-1. Good count here for Seager. Broken bat. Looper. That'll get it done. Coming around is Chavez, and he's going to score. 1-0 Mariners. Kyle Seager with a broken bat RBI single. His 55th run batted in. Extends his hitting streak to 4 games. So he's now 9 out of his last 14.
That's a fastball in on his hands. It does jam him, but Kyle, a little soft line drive into center field, works out perfectly for the Mariners. Indy Chavez able to come around third, score easily. And the pitch right before that, he had stolen second base to get himself into scoring position, and Kyle picked him up.
Here's Logan Morrison. Hitting at .225. That's a strike 1.
Mariners came into the game hitting .266 as a team with runners in scoring position. A big improvement of what we've seen over the last few years.
I'm ready to put that into mega improvement because we're talking 228 to 238 range the last 4 or 5 years.
And the Indians just .246 with runners in scoring position.
Talking to Lloyd McClendon, in his office, he pointed out towards the clubhouse. He said, those guys are really believing in themselves now. They feel it.
Well, he played well. They should.
A lot of good work here. 15-9 in the month of June. Win 2 out of 3 against Boston. Won 8 of their last 11. Just reporting. Just reporting. Handling that down and in pitch pretty well lately.
You just can't get a fastball by him right now. We were talking about it the other day when Boston was in town, and he has really gone to the plate now, and you can see it in his stride. He has a nice quiet stride, soft stride, and he looks about as relaxed as you can be at home plate, and he's given his hands a chance to work, and he's constantly cutting that pitch off on the inner half and hitting it hard. He may pull it foul, but eventually he's going to get it fair, and that's when we start to see the power numbers for Morris and the home runs here on this homestand.
Ball and 2 strikes. On the take, 2-2.
Had a good conversation with him before the game today. I asked him, he played in 18 games on a rehab before he came back, and I asked him how much did that help him, because when he came back he immediately went into the starting lineup because Smoke went on the disabled list. And we talked about his stride and his hands, and he agreed with all of that. And he said the biggest thing is because he's playing every day now, he can make adjustments when he makes a bad swing or he swings at a pitch that maybe isn't a strike. He can make adjustments. Where earlier when he was in and out of the lineup, he said he was just trying to survive and maybe jumping at the ball a little bit more. But now that he knows he's going to be in the lineup, he's relaxed, and you can see it in his approach at the plate.
He's got a 2-2 count with 2 outs and a man aboard. Andy Chavez has scored on the Kyle Seager single. Hit down the left field line a long way, and it gets foul. Michael Brantley giving chase. Some 23 home runs a few years ago when he was with the Marlins back in 2011. Runner goes, pitch, swing on and hit down to the first baseman Santana. He'll touch it up, and that'll do it. Mariners get a run. The Kyle Seager RBI single, a run on 2 hits, and leave a man 1-0. Early lead for Seattle. Root Sports crew coordinator, taking in the ball game here today, just like Fernando Rodney. You can record a save when you head to Safeco Field tomorrow night, thanks to BASF. First 8,000 fans are going to receive a Mariners kitchen caddy to collect compostable materials that will help save the earth. For tickets on tomorrow's 7:10 matchup against the Indians, log on to Mariners.com. So the Mariners lead 1-0. Carlos Santana is going to lead it off. Played a lot of third base this year. Didn't quite work out. They moved him over to first. His fielding's been a little bit better.
Mariners will put the shift on. Kyle Seager on the right side of the infield. Robinson Cano out there on the right field grass, playing deep. Expecting Santana to pull the ball on the ground. Jones in center field, playing straight away, maybe shading just a little bit towards right center.
Kind of like this generational battle. Chris Young pitching like his pants are on fire. And Bauer like he's waiting for the ice to melt on the glaciers. In no hurry. Very interesting contrast. You usually see the young guys. Hey, let's go. Boom, 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 boom. Let's go. Hey, old finger pop here. Come on.
Well, if they're going to slow down, they're typically going to slow down when a runner gets on base, and Andy Chavez led the game off with a hit.
He did go, says Adam Hamari. And Santana is the second strikeout victim for Chris Young. Give you an idea how effective Chris Young has been this season. Look at that. Just ahead of Felix behind Anibal Sanchez and Garrett Richards. And ahead of Scott Kazmir, who got lit up by the Mets in his last start. Chris Young. I don't think anybody forecast this. The Mariners are thrilled to have him. Nice move by Jack Sarincic and company. I just happened to notice that the Washington Nationals cut this guy. Hey, Chris, how are you? What are you doing?
I think the thing that's great about that list is Chris is the only one on there with an 86-mile-an-hour fastball. Felix throws his changeup at 90.
Exactly. 1-1. Good player right here. All-star Jason Kipnis. Hitting at 251. Slow start for him. He'd been injured earlier. Two and two. It strained a right oblique late April, kept him out till late May. Which leads to the obligatory question: when was the last time you strained your oblique? Did you ever do that while you were playing, or did you just play, didn't know it and just said, "Oh, my back hurts," and you kept playing?
Well, there's a couple of times I had some big lunches I thought maybe I had, but I ended up fighting my way through it. Thanks for asking, Dave.
That was hammered into the corner. Kipnis out of the box hard. Here's the throw by Saunders. It's offline and later. One out double here by Kipnis, his 12th of the season.
So far, he's the first Indian to be able to get on top of a fastball. 86 miles an hour right at the top of the strike zone above the belt. Drives it down into the right field corner. I'll bring up Lonnie Chisenhall. He has really played well for the Indians. 210 at bats, hitting .352. 8 home runs.
No doubt saw, just about 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks ago on June 9. Fourth player in big league history with 5 hits, 3 homers, and at least 9 RBIs in a game. He was all over the highlight shows that night.
That's a good couple of weeks, isn't it?
Amen. He had a 4-hit game April 17th at Detroit. Big hack there, went 5 for 6 at Toronto on May 14th. So he's had some explosive nights.
He's had a couple of good swings at the high fastball from Chris. Both pitches he fouled back, but it looked like he was looking up there and was able to get the barrel to it as he fouled it straight back.
Swing and a miss.
Good breaking ball.
Chris Young, another strikeout. His third, second of the inning. 2 outs here in the second. That'll bring up Yan Gomes.
And again, the Indians hitting .246 with runners in scoring position. And after a couple of good swings at the fastball, he comes back with a breaking ball, 79 miles an hour, and gets Chisenhall to swing through it.
Cotton candy, here, come get your cotton candy. Good stuff, cotton candy, nice and sweet, a sweet treat for a sweet lady. Come on by and pick up your cotton candy. Cotton candy, here.
Well, here's Gomes. He sent the Mariners to Heartbreak Hotel. That Monday game that ended a 4-game series last year in May in Cleveland. 2 home run day. The last one, a game winner in the 10th.
He's a good hitting catcher. Comes into the game .272 with 8 home runs.
Strike Dion. Swinging the bat well. It's got a 7-game hitting streak working. Clinton, that couldn't be more thrilled. He and his coaching staff with the job Chris Young has turned in. Here's a fly ball. Easy play for Michael Saunders. Good to have the Condor back. A double by Kipnis, and that's all they get in the second inning. 1-0 Mariners. Train heading northbound. Wonder if there's anybody on that train singing King of the Road. The old Roger Miller tune from some moons ago. It's a copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. See what the Mariner offense brings here with Mike Zunino. Leads American League catchers with 11 home runs, 3rd in the major leagues.
He has homered in 4 of his last 5 games. Push that number up to 11.
Popped up. Santana takes charge. 1 away. Welcome back to Michael Saunders. Some time shoulder had been a problem. Just off the 15-day disabled list. AC joint, right AC joint inflammation in the shoulder. And his return sent Jesus Montero back to Tacoma.
And I think the hope for everybody is that he stays healthy now. Michael was playing well before he ended up hurting that shoulder again.
He hurt it down in Tampa Bay. First or second at bat that first game.
I think it was his first.
The follow through, he said. He did the, swung and missed and all the way through it. It was like, oh boy. And it felt to come out. He originally, remember last year, banged into the wall here at Safeco Field and then aggravated it during the offseason moving some furniture. A little rest, some rehab, and here he is. Did well down at Tacoma, 9 for 20, 450 clip. Home runs, 7 runs batted in 5 games.
I was down on the field today watching him take batting practice, and he was hitting some rockets into the seats. Looked healthy, ready to go. Good changeup from Bauer right there.
A lot of the success Michael had earlier in the season. He was batting in a 2-hole and made a good run. This one rifled into the gap, and he can run. Stretch him out, big fella. He will settle for a double with 1 out here in the second inning. Sando's 7th double of the season.
Man, a good start to his return. Bauer had just thrown him a changeup. Michael had swung through it, and then he comes back with his best fastball at 93 miles an hour, and he lines it into the gap in right center field. He's going to stay on the backside, load up, and throw his hands at it. It's a good play by Bourne out in center field to get to it quickly. And there's Michael. Seen that a lot from Kyle Seager lately.
I got to salute the boys in the bullpen and said, hey, what about us? You were part of the team, too. You got to acknowledge us, huh? These guys are characters. Sando getting that double. I have to keep playing that theme from Welcome Back Cotter that welcomed him to the plate. Here's Dustin Ackley.
Hey, you really have something going on in mid-August. It's still going, right? Playing that song.
Hey.
His walk-up song.
Whatever it takes, right?
Yeah.
2-0. Ackley trying to break an 0 for 12.
At the start of the game, the Mariners hitting .266 with runners in scoring position, already 1 for 1. Kyle Seager had a base hit to drive Indy Chavez in the first.
We know to Ackley. Brad Miller on deck. Fourth pitch walk to Ackley. 2 on here for the Mariners in the second inning for Brad Miller. Coming up tomorrow, our CenturyLink link to what's next. Josh Tomlin for the Tribe and Roenis Elias. 2 games above 500 for the young left-hander from Cuba. Another guy's been a revelation for this ball club. There's a great opportunity for Brad Miller.
He's been a hot hitter lately, hitting .313 in his last 25 games.
Wednesday's ball game, and a line drive home run leading off the 8th against Boston in the 5-4 loss. Strike 1. Broken bat, slow roller, foot race to the bag. Bauer's there. Runners move up. The runners, both of them now in scoring position, 2 away.
It gets jammed. It looks like a cut fastball, 87 miles an hour. Good job by Bauer. Cover first base. We take a look at this broken bat. And that's deep. Anytime you get down around that trademark, you're in trouble.
A chance for Endy Chavez to pick up 2 here. Endy with a base hit, stolen base, and a run scored in the first inning. Speed not an issue on the base paths here with Saunders and Ackley out there.
Endy showing some speed in the first. An infield hit. It's a good play by Cabrera out at short, then stealing the base, and of course scoring on Kyle Seager's hit. So it looks like his legs feel pretty good.
I'll match Endy up against almost any 36-year-old in baseball. Back up this way. I'm talking about speed now.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's he can motor. Tell you what, if you're a Mariner fan and the whole Mariner organization, boy, you want to knock some wood and give a lot of thanks. This guy, Elias, Young, I mean, there's been a lot of guys that just, you weren't expecting this, and bang, here they are, and big contributors. This one, Papa. Cabrera will put it away. Mariners strand 2. They threaten, can't score. They lead it 1-0. And you want to stay ready for the fireworks. Load up on that sugar. Field here at Safeco Field, and a reminder that your young All-Stars can take home a poster of 5-time All-Star Robinson Cano when they head to the ballpark on Sunday to see the Mariners and Indians at 1:10. Poster of the Mariners second baseman. It's free to all kids thanks to Aquafina. Pick up your tickets for the whole family right now at mariners.com. Very comfortable night here. A lot of clouds, and coming up later, fireworks after the ball game. There's Nick Swisher. Off of Chris Young's legs, and he throws him out. One down.
Hopefully he's okay. It looks like it. You see all the infielders right to the middle of the field to check on Chris. You can tell where it hit him. If it hit him in the ankle or in the bottom of his foot. Rick Griffin, trainer for the Mariners, looking at him. Looked like Kyle Seager asked him if he was okay, and immediately he said he was fine.
Left foot,
yep.
Instep. There's David Murphy, the former Texas Ranger. Yep, left instep. Murphy with the Rangers until at the conclusion of last year, out there with Texas in 07. And been a first-round pick by Boston back in 03. Chris battles back to 3-2 against an old teammate.
One of the things that will be interesting to watch in the second half of the season, midway point, will be tomorrow, is for Chris as he walks Murphy. Came into the game 86 innings pitched, and he's been working deeper in the game steadily, so we'll see what he can do in the second half, and he has a chance to get up to 200 innings on the year. Another plus for the Mariners because he's saving innings from the bullpen. And he'll go up over 90 after tonight.
Second go around now for Cleveland. Here's Michael Bourne. In well right field. Murphy will get to third. So runners at the corners here for Cleveland. 1 out, third inning. Bourne not wasting any time here.
We talked about it. Chris throwing a lot of fastballs. This one, he doesn't elevate. He leaves it in the middle of the plate, and Bourne ready to hit. Hits it out into right field. Saunders able to cut it off, but it'll be a first and third situation with just 1 out for Young.
He'll bring up his Drupal Cabrera, struck out in a 2-2 pitch. Ball 1. And there's a double play depth up the middle. Cabrera's grounded into a team high 10 double plays. 1-1. Athletics on the board with a win at Miami, 9-5. Helmet of Zunino.
A strikeout would be big for Chris right here. We've talked about it as he's pitched this year. A lot of fly ball outs for him. We're talking about the double play. A little bit tougher for Chris to get him because he likes to pitch at the top of the strike zone.
Hitting, bases loaded. Second batter Chris has hit this season.
He certainly did not want to do that. Had him in a good count, 1-2 count. Threw him a breaking ball and ends up hitting him on the forearm. Right on the hand. That'll bring up the Indians' best hitter this year, at least in the first half. Michael Brantley hitting third in the lineup. Came into the game hitting .325 with 12 home runs. You can see what his career is with the bases loaded. .378 batting average and 6 for 10 this year.
Sun breaking through the clouds here at Safeco Field. Fence in center field and right field along first base side benefiting right now. Right now, Chris Young in some turbulent water here. Strike 1. Brantley fifth in the American League in hitting, lined out to shortstop. Ended the first inning. Brantley's dad, Mickey, good player here with the Mariners some years ago. Got a 1-1 count here. Ball and 2 strikes. Terry Francona's ball club, month of June, 12-10, but they've lost 4 of their last 5.
He didn't stay in the TV booth for very long, did he?
Didn't expect him to either.
No.
He's a good one. Seager has a play here. That's it. Do not get hurt.
Well, you have to worry about that railing over where the cameras are, and fortunately for Kyle, there is some give to it. And you can see the padding wrapped around it. And he's fortunate that his glove went underneath the railing right there. If it gets caught up, he could have hurt his wrist. Unfortunately, he goes under.
Oof.
Yeah.
He was breaking, but he gave it a heck of a try. 1-2 here to Brantley with the bases loaded, 1 out. Way upstairs, 2-2. Big pitch here, 2-2.
Some long at bats, a lot of base runners in this inning, and his pitch count moving up. 52 pitches, 34 strikes as he works here in the 3rd. Just 1 out.
Two and 2 to Brantley. Left field towards the line. Here's Ackley there to make the catch. Coming home and scoring is David Murphy. Ties the game at 1-1. Sacrifice fly for Brantley gives him his 52nd run batted in. Team leader in that category.
7-pitch at bat, and he eventually finds a pitch that's down just far enough for him to drive it out to left field. Dustin Ackley throwing it in quickly to 3rd to hold the runner at 2nd.
The runners at 1st and 2nd now, tie ball game, 2 outs. Brings up Carlos Santana, who struck out. Strike 1 to Carlos. Chris Young in just his 2nd career start against the Indians. He was with Texas in 05, August 17th, the first time he faced him. 8 scoreless innings. Jacobs Field, now known as Progressive Field, in Cleveland. 1-1. So 1-2. Brad Miller playing Santana up the middle. Chris Young trying to get out of this inning. The 1-2 pitch. That's a foul ball. Michael Bourne at 2nd. And Asdrubal Cabrera at first for Cleveland. One and two. All two up high. Count evens 2-2.
Well, this is taking a lot out of Chris. 58 pitches, sneaking up on 60 pitches here in the third.
Two and two. Tried fouling off a lot of pitches tonight.
You see that with Chris. All those pitches at the top of the zone, they're struggling to get to it. It's the reason why he's effective. But they'll also foul a lot of those pitches off.
Two and two. Hit hard and right to Morrison. That'll do it. Bramley's sacrifice fly ties the score at 1-1. Cleveland strands two here in the third. A World War II veteran.
Yes, 95 years old, Ernie Budis. Spent 3 years in South Pacific. Born and raised in Walla Walla, Washington. Still lives there. And how about this, Dave? You'll like this. His first major league game.
19.
No, now. This is
this
it.
Is his
this
first,
is first major league. No, this is his first major league game.
Oh,
so good for Ernie, 95 years old. Welcome. World War II veteran.
Love it. Thank you for your service. James Jones, Robinson Cano, Kyle Seager here in the home third. Jonesy with a fly out the center, first time up. Mariners got their run on a Kyle Seager first inning single after Indy Chavez singled and stole second. Tribe got a sac fly from Michael Brantley. Top half of this inning. Bounce it off his foot. 2-2. Jones coming into today's game hitting .280. 14 out of 15 and stolen bases. That will do it. Base hit. Starting the Mariners third. They'll bring up Robinson Cano.
Really good hitting by Jones. It's a good pitch. It's a pitch that looks like it's an off-speed pitch. Maybe the changeup right on the outside corner. Hits it the other way.
Cano flied to center, as did Jones back in the first inning.
Apparently Jones listened to me today. I saw him in the dugout. I just went up to him. I said, I've really enjoyed watching you play. And he has one of those smiles, just lights up a room.
Yeah.
And I said, just keep it going. And he said, yeah, I'll keep it going. So it's good to see him get a base hit now, maybe steal a couple of bases. But he has really been a nice find for the Mariners. Started the year in the minor leagues and was called up after Almonte was sent down. And he just took the job.
He's come along.
And literally has run with it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Talking to a scout today that said a couple of years ago they thought they were going to have to make a pitcher out of him because he's got the great arm, which we've seen.
Wow, he could throw 95 miles an hour.
Every bit. He pitched back at LIU in Brooklyn, Long Island University. It's been another unexpected story here with this Mariner ball club that stands at 42-37. 1-1 to Cano. It is amazing. Tomorrow's game 81.
Midway point.
Close play. Bauer redefining deliberate. A 1-1 count here.
A little bit closer. It looked as if Jones was leaning a little bit, wanted to steal. Andy Van Slyke, first base coach, outfield coach, talking to him. Robinson steps out, tired of waiting.
Off the fist and fouled back. 1-2. One and two. Jones, a little bigger lead here. It's a double play opportunity. They convert it. A 1-6-3 two-way. Let's take a look at the Mariners calendar, brought to you by Sleep Country USA. 2 more games with the Tribe, then back on the road again. Houston for 3, day off in Chicago, 3 there, then back home. See Kendrys Morales, the former Mariner, and the Minnesota Twins. And then those A's will come to town. Big weekend series on the 11th, 12th, and 13th. That'll take us into the All-Star break. A's earlier today winning at Miami. 9-5 the final there. Two-way Kyle Seager, RBI single. A little broken bat single to center field. Scored Andy Chavez in the first inning. All one. A strike. Bauer coming over from Arizona. Big 3-team trade in December of 2012 involving Arizona, Cleveland, and Cincinnati.
We heard about him throwing a lot of fastballs, which he's done early in the count, but then he's gone to his cut fastball, able to get it in on the hands of some of the left-handed hitters for the Mariners, and a good changeup.
1-2 to Kyle. Bounces it foul.
One of the few curveballs we've seen from him at 79.
High fly ball towards the line. David Murphy. There's no play. Nice catch by the fan there.
Tried to sneak a fastball by Kyle. That's not going to work too well these days. He's jumping on the fastball. You can see it's a good pitch right on the inside corner, but it's elevated, and Kyle able to get the barrel to it. That's the best fastball we've seen from Bauer so far, 94 miles an hour.
Seager has been sensational here at home. So we can keep this inning going, a 1-1 ball game. This with the breaking ball. 2-2. Breaking ball, the beauty, got him. Good pitch. Bauer, first strikeout of the evening. A 1-1 ball game here at Citgo Field.
Ball game between the Indians and the Mariners. Hi everyone, Angie Mentink here at the Ford Sports Desk. We're wondering who you're watching the game with, where you're watching it. I hope you send us a photo using the hashtag MarinersFanPhoto. This is brought to you by AT&T, and we hope to use it tonight or in an upcoming broadcast. Again, it's hashtag MarinersFanPhoto, brought to you by AT&T. Back to you guys.
Angie, thank you very much. Chris Young to face Jason Kipnis, Lonnie Chisenhall, and Yan Gomes here in the fourth. 5, 6, and 7 in the order. Kipnis first time up, doubled to right center field.
Well, it's looking more and more like the bullpens are going to get some work tonight. Both starters having to throw a lot of pitches here early in the game. Chris now at 63 pitches here at the start of the 4th inning.
Wow.
He's throwing a lot of strikes, 40 strikes.
Three and one.
Just one walk for him. He's also hit a batter.
Well, he's the antithesis of Bauer in terms of pace. Unbelievable. Cano for out number 1. Bring up Lonnie Chisenhall. Struck out on a 1-2 pitch. That's some trouble. Down the line. Fair ball. Chisenhall into second with a double. And that will be his 20th of the season. And that breaks a tie for the team lead with Brantley. So Chisenhall takes over as the leader in that category. Major League Baseball, People Magazine and Target are celebrating teachers in your community. Vote for the teacher who's going to represent the Mariners at the 2014 All-Star Game, July 15th on Fox. Log on to allstarteachers.com to vote for your favorite teacher today.
Yan Gomes will step in. Gomes fly ball to right field his first time up. The Indians now runners in scoring position 3 straight innings in the 2nd, 3rd, and the 4th. They are 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position. They scored their run on a sacrifice fly.
Strike 1 taken by Gomes, who flied out to right to end the 2nd inning. Breaking ball fouled back, 0-2. Seager right there. Good read by Chisenhall. He's back 2 away.
Line drive down the 3rd. Kyle's able to handle it. A little backhanded play. Looked at second base quickly, but Cano was letting him know that the runner wasn't far enough off the base and not to throw it. But a good play by Kyle.
Two outs, and that will bring on the effervescent Nick Swisher. I don't think he's ever had a bad day in his life. He is hitting under 200 coming into that today, but he's got that light up a room personality.
And Terry has him all the way down, hitting 8th in the lineup.
That's how much of a struggle he's had so far. He had a game-winning home run a couple weeks ago at home after striking out 3 times in the game. Back in his home state of actually it's Ohio, where he went to Ohio State. He's born in West Virginia. 1-1. Ball 2 strikes. 4 out of 11 against Chris Young. Chris not as sharp as he would like, but he is battling big time.
Well, the other part of that too is the Indians, a good hitting club, have made him work by fouling a number of pitches off.
Zanino held it there for effect. 2-2.
Indians 7th in batting average, 4th in runs scored, and 5th in walks.
2-2 with 2 outs. Runner at second. Fly ball left field, backing up Ackley. He's got plenty of room. And he makes the catch. That'll do it. The Tribe strands another runner here in the 4th. Angie Mentek, when we come back, going to have an interesting piece of video that involves a rundown.
Out here in the bottom of the 4th, trying to untie this game. Hi, everyone. Angie Mentink here at the Ford Sports Desk. Crazy play tonight between the Mets and the Pirates, and I am tired just watching Josh Harrison. Comebacker to Jenry Mejia. This one in the 10th inning. They got him caught between 2nd and 3rd. 1 throw, 2 throws. What does he do? Hit the deck here. 3 throws. Okay, they're going to get him here. No. Flops down. Now, the rules say that you cannot deviate more than 3 feet from your path. I guess his path changed. In the 11th, Harrison ends up winning the game. He doubles into right center field. Look at his teammates trying to catch him, and they're not having much luck either. Guys, back upstairs to you. I'm whooped. I'm tired. I'm pooped.
Needed a Three Stooges soundtrack on that one. Whoop, 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 whoop.
My own personal rule, 2 throws, and then I'm going to stop running.
Either that or call the medic, right?
Nah, I just knew that I wasn't quick enough, and you caught me.
Was it 2? That's great.
One of the things about Bauer, and he was with Arizona. We talked to some people about him, but he has a lot of different ways of getting loose and taking care of himself and the different things. We saw him with a bow before the game, this big long bow that he'd hold in the middle and kind of get it moving back and forth to loosen his shoulder up, and there's a lot of different things, but he's just something to watch. And I noticed that before he starts his warm-ups, he has a little different routine that will show you what he does, and I don't think I've ever seen anybody throw the first pitch of an inning. Well, not really the first pitch, but first warm-up pitch of an inning quite the way that he does.
Is he still hitting the backstop? Is that what he does? He used to do that.
No, he's not doing that anymore, but it looks like he's trying to.
I remember
we'll show you what he does.
I saw him in spring training, I guess, a couple of years ago, and then I remember reading about him when he was at UCLA with that bow.
Well, he has a number of things that he likes to do that's a little bit different, and I think at times it probably irritated the people in Arizona. They ended up trading him to Cleveland, and he has a good arm. No question about that, but it's just a little bit different.
Okay, as long as he gets results, that's all they care about. But
exactly.
I guess the equipment guy doesn't like him if that bow's so daggone big, right?
It's big, yeah. I saw it. He had it out on the warning track in front of the dugout before he went out to get loose in the pen for the game.
Slicing base hit in the left field off the bat of Logan Morrison on a 2-2 pitch. Here's what Mike was talking about. Here's the bow that he uses. Oh, yeah, okay. And this will be the first pitch as he gets ready to warm up.
I'm not sure what that one is. I've never seen that one. And then I like this one right here. At least he was nice enough that the ball boy was walking. That's why he waited. But then that's his first pitch. Just air it out. Run over the mound and air it out. Like an outfielder right there. I've never seen that. But he's pitched well so far. I'd throw a lot of pitches, but he's pitched well so far today.
Let him want to have a few 20-game seasons, and people will be buying stock in that bow.
See a lot more guys out on the warning track with it.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to remember. I think Randy Johnson had one, but he would use it more in between starts in the clubhouse. But, yeah, different.
Mike Zunino bounced out the first. High fly ball, deep left center field. Giving chase, Brantley running out of room, and he makes the catch. And Lomo doubled up.
Well, we'll take a look at it. Breaking ball, Mike out in front of it just a little bit. Skies it to left. Thought maybe it had a chance. I'm not sure it would have left the ballpark. Brantley makes the catch. And I was watching Logan as he was running, and he stopped at second base and was looking out to the outfield. I'm not sure he saw that he was actually catching it. And they end up doubling him up. So the Mariners so far have had their leadoff hitter on in 3 of the 4 innings, and only one of them has scored, and that was the leadoff base hit from Indy Chavez, eventually scored in the first.
Saunders goes left center field. That'll drop down for a base hit.
Michael 2 for 2, had a double his first time out. Like that little cutter that he's been throwing in on the hands of the lefty. Michael able to get just enough of it to fight it off into left field. Good hitting, staying inside of it. Saunders certainly has the ability to steal a base. Mariners with 1 stolen base in the game. Indy Chavez in the first inning stole second. Bring it back. Ackley with a walk his first time up.
Ball gets away from Gomes. Never saw it. Throw down a second. Not in time. One 1-0 count to Ackley.
And this will be a wild pitch in the dirt. Saunders saw it right away. Gomes had a tough time finding it, so Michael get himself into scoring position. The Mariners 1 for 3 with runners in scoring position.
Officially is a wild pitch. Interesting the way Gomes attacked it. He went backhand. I thought he'd have the forehand up.
Well, normally you would think he would try to block it.
Yeah. Two 2-0 to count to Ackley. Jerry Francona's club defensively last in the American League. Ackley trying to break an 0 for 12. He fouls this one back 2-1. Two-one pitch. 3-1 now to Ackley.
Brad Miller waiting on deck.
Good pitch here for Ackley. 3-1. No play.
Well, you were right, Dave. That is a good pitch. 94, but it's in the middle of the plate. Right about belt high, maybe just above the belt.
3-2 to Ackley. Back up this way. Saunders at second, 3-2, 2 outs here. Pitch to Ackley from Bauer. And he's aboard with a walk. Second time Ackley's walked. Those are the 2 walks issued by Bauer. Get downtown from the airport for only $2.75 on Sound Transit's Link Light Rail. See how easy it is at soundtransit.org. Well, an opportunity's a big one here for Brad Miller. 2 outs and 2 on. The Niehaus statue out right center field concourse. That is one of the best statues you're going to see in all of sports. Right down to a scorebook, exact same size, and you can track the game right there. Was that I think that's the '95 game, big playoff game with Junior scoring on the Edgar double. There's Miller, grounded out to first. Again, good speed out there, Saunders and Ackley. Looper, center field. Board's not going to get it. Saunders around third. He's going to score easily. 2-1 Mariners. Nice job by Brad Miller picking up the RBI with 2 outs here in the 4th. His 22nd run batted in. Ackley stops at second.
Again, it's the cut fastball. He was able to jam Brad the first time up. This time still gets in there a little bit, but you can see him pull his hands inside, trying to lead with the knob of the bat, get the barrel to it, and fights it off into center field, similar to the swing that we saw from Saunders, who ends up scoring on the play.
Kipnis checking out Ackley's beard. Is it real?
Brad continues his hot hitting. Talked about it before the game, hitting .313 over his last 25 games, now 1 for 2 in this one.
Up and in Andy Chavez, who's 1 for 2. Runs scored. He's got a stolen base as well. Indy, the 6th man to the plate here in the 4th inning.
Mariners 2 for 4 with runners in scoring position tonight.
Strike 101. Breaking ball in there for strike 2. Wild pitch, big help here for the Mariners in the 4th. Saunders after the base hit, wild pitch to second. Walk and then a base hit by Miller. 7 hits tonight by the Mariners. 3 for Cleveland. And he did go. Mariners get a run, leave 2, and take a 2-1 lead here at Safeco Field. Baseball on Root Sports, being brought to you by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. By Jack in the Box. Head to Jack in the Box for the new jalapeno ranch or barbecue ultimate cheeseburgers at participating restaurants. And by BNSF Railway, sponsor of the BNSF Blast. Chris Young not wasting any time, raring to go. Strike one to David Murphy, leading off the Cleveland fifth. Murphy walked and scored in the third inning. Out of 2 for Murphy. Got info from Mike Miller tweeting in that the bow that Bauer uses is called the body blade. Great exercise for shoulder strengthening for pitchers. The body blade.
The body blade. Yeah,
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, thank you. I think that Randy had one of those that he used to use in the clubhouse. Again, the one that we saw today, Bauer was using it earlier today. As Chris Young will pick up another strikeout here. Randy used to do it in between starts.
Got a little heft to it, as I remember.
Yeah. Well, it'll give you a workout.
4th strikeout for Chris Young.
80 pitches now for Chris.
Talking about having a night. There you go. Fresh and some ice cream. Top of the order, Michael Bourne. Base hit to right field. His last time up, he's 1 for 2. Line drive, he can run. It's into the gap. Jones cuts it off. Bourne to second, and he's in there. Second hit tonight for Bourne. That's his 7th double.
And that is now 4 innings in a row that Chris has had a runner in scoring position. Good play by Jones in center. We've talked about his arm. He's able to cut this off. Bourne with exceptional speed. Throw a little bit offline as Bourne slides in again now for Chris Young. 4 innings in a row that the Indians have had runners in scoring position.
Brings up Asdrubal Cabrera, strikeout victim, and then hit by a pitch into third on a 1-2 count. Mariners have 2 runs on 7 hits, a run on 4 hits for Cleveland. Coming on is Saunders. And the throw is cut off. Good throw by Saunders. Hit Brad Miller, 2 away. So 2 away here in the 5th. Come celebrate Peroni Italian Heritage Night tomorrow here at Safeco Field. Festive night coming your way, full of games and awesome prizes. You can enter to win a Peroni fridge and glassware at the Coors Light Rail Bar in the Pen. And make sure you arrive early to watch the bocce ball tournament. Events start at 4 p.m. You don't want to miss this. Real later on tonight, fireworks at the conclusion of this game. Brings up Michael Brantley. Sacrifice fly his last time up, lined out to shortstop. First plate appearance.
It was a good battle between him and Chris. Brantley fouling off a number of pitches before he eventually was able to get the sacrifice fly. He gave him 52 RBIs on the year.
Slap the other way. Eichel's dad, Mickey, played for the Mariners from 86 to 89. That was the extent of his big league career. .259 career hitter with 32 homers and 125 runs batted in. Oh, 2. Chris Young's thrown a lot of pitches, but he's not given up multiple hits in an inning to this point.
His season high is 113, but he's had some stressful innings. Rick Waite's the pitching coach, watching closely, and I'm sure that they will factor that in.
Left a man on in the second, 2 in the third, 1 on the fourth. He's got Brantley 1 and 2 here. Took a lot off of that pitch. Don't forget, fireworks coming up after tonight's ball game. Out on the tracks right behind the Safeco Field sign. Sunset tonight, 9:10. It's about 8:50, 8:48 right now. They're ready. They're going to go if it rains or not. 1-2 pitch. Foul. Detroit and Houston tied 3-3, top the 10th in Houston.
Kansas City able to take care of the Angels tonight. Angels losing 8-6.
And Oakland wins 9-5 at Miami. Texas 5-4 winner at home against Minnesota. Ackley coming in, long run for he and Seager, no play. The fan had it. Oh, the fan had a play, couldn't hold on. Brad Miller gives him the ball back. Attaboy.
Take a look at it.
Oh boy, he had it right in the pocket too.
I think Grandpa sitting next to him was telling him to use 2 hands. 2 hands.
You know it, right?
Brad Miller picked it up and gave it back to him.
Ball with 2 strikes. High drive. Deep right center field. It's staying in the yard. Jones is there. Foot on the track. Makes the catch. And Chris Young survives through the 5th. He's got a 2-1 lead. Being brought to you by Pizza Hut. Too much good stuff. By Honda. Start something special with a great deal on a Honda now at your Honda dealer. And by the Washington State Department of Labor and Industries. When you're choosing a contractor, hire smart and go to protectmyhome.net. Fireworks coming up after tonight's ball game, and they're loaded and ready for bear. Dave Sims, Mike Flowers, Root Sports crew on hand here as James Jones will lead it off here in the 5th. He led off the 3rd. The base hit to left, but was erased in a double play that Cano bounced into.
And I think Chris Young may be finished for the night. Joe Beimel getting loose in the pen for the Mariners.
So it popped up. Cabrera back about 3 steps. You saw the handshake.
Yeah, he came in off the field. He was walking in, and Lloyd was going to shake his hand, and Chris had a misstep, fell down the steps. But it looks like he's going to be okay, and his night will be done. Had to throw a lot of pitches to get through 5 innings tonight. A lot of foul balls from the Indians, but in the end, he ends up leaving with a lead. And did a good job. They put a lot of pressure on him, but the Indians so far in this one tonight 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position as Cano steps in. So Chris had to battle, but pitched well.
If the Mariners can hold on, he's got a double. And that would definitely work. Cano fly to center and hit into a double play. A little late. Mike Trout hit a home run tonight in Kansas City off of Jason Vargas. That was almost, some people are saying, in Bo Jackson proportions. I don't know if it was that far, but it was pretty mammoth.
So it had to be up there in the new concession stand area. It was 489
off of Vargas. Yeah, it's up. And he splashed it too. Yes, that thing was killed. Oh my goodness. 1-1 to Cano. Fouled it back. Bo was in Toronto a couple of nights ago, and Buck Martinez and Pat Tabler had him on, and they were talking about some of his home runs and showing some of that video, which we've seen, but you never get tired of looking at.
No.
And Cano having a tough night. Strikes out. Gomes applies the tag. 2 away. 3rd strikeout for Trevor Bauer. Tomorrow marks the annual Baseball Tomorrow Fund Equipment Drive. And fans are encouraged to bring new or gently used baseball or softball gear to the ballpark to benefit the Boys and Girls Clubs of King County. Fans who donate will receive a free autographed Mariners player photo. Mariners, thank you for your support. Here's Kyle Seager. Drove in the Mariners' first run and also struck out.
Boy, Al didn't like that call, and I don't blame him. Yeah, there it is on the EQC tracer, well off the plate and up.
He's not a guy that usually grouses either, so. Doug Eddings, unplayed umpire. May tell him tomorrow, I missed that one.
See Kyle talking to him, probably in the nicest way, asking him to tighten it up a little bit.
Ball and 2 strikes. 2-1 lead for the Mariners. Seager an RBI in the first. 4th inning. Brad Miller an RBI single to center. Cleveland's run coming on a sacrifice fly by Michael Brantley in the 3rd.
Next pitch will be 90 for Bauer. Nobody throwing in the Indians bullpen.
Shift on for Seager. 2-2. Hit hard through the shift. I got you shift right here into the corner. Seager will get a double.
Well, his hot hitting here at Safeco Field this year just continues. His second base hit. First base hit drove in a run for the Mariners. Now he gets himself into scoring position with 2 outs. It looked like it was a high breaking ball, something off speed, 81 miles an hour, and Kyle ends up jumping on his pitches on the inside corner. Another good swing from Kyle. And congratulations, 20th double this season, 100th of his career.
Pitching coach Mickey Callaway going out to speak with Bauer.
He's a young pitcher, pitching coach, I'm sure, going over some scouting reports. You have Morrison due up. Morrison has been a hot hitter for the Mariners and had a base hit his last time up. The right-handed hitter, Zunino, due up after that, and you do have first base open. So I don't think that they will put him on, but I think they want him to be careful with Morrison as Mike waits to hit. Mike has swung the bat well for the Mariners. Just missed a home run his last time up.
2 outs, a man on. Seager with his 20th double. 12 later, Cano a second with 17. Brings up Logan Morrison, base hit to left in the 4th inning on a 2-2 pitch. After grounding out the first. Strike one.
Good changeup. Mariners 2 for 5 with runners in scoring position tonight. Kyle Seager and Brad Miller both driving in runs.
Center field, Bourne tracks it down, and that will do it. A Seager double to no avail in the 5th, but the Mariners still lead 2-1. And Seager giving his salute to the boys out in the bullpen. Get a base hit, get out to second. Got to wave to the boys out there. We're part of the team too, pal.
Yeah, they're playing well and having some fun.
Yes, they are.
Good to see.
So many rituals. Give me one that you guys had back in the day.
There's so many.
That we can talk about.
You know, all this stuff is new, and I can't remember who started. Was it the Rangers, I think, that started it with acknowledging the dugout? They had something going a few years ago.
Elvis Andrus started a lot of that.
Yeah, a lot of that. For Chris Young, 5 innings, just 4 hits. Gave up 1 run, it was earned. 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, 91 pitches. 61 of those for strikes. He leaves with the lead, 2-1 lead for Chris. Joe Beimel will take over. For Joe, his 28th appearance on the year. He's pitched well, a 1.46 ERA, 14 strikeouts, 9 walks. Opponents hitting just .250 off of Joe. He will get the middle of the lineup. It will be Santana, Kipnis, and Chisenhall due up.
There's Beimel working from the third base side of the rubber. Bauer, Cleveland pitcher, works from the first base side. Strike to Santana. Well, our producer Curtis Wilson reminds me down in Texas, they do that claw sign for power hits down in Texas, and then the deer antler thing for good speed. So every team's got a little something.
Dominic Leone getting loose. You have the switch hitter Santana, a couple of lefties in Kipnis and Chisenhall, then Gomes, the right-handed hitting catcher. So Leone probably getting ready for Gomes if it gets that far. Beimel, not an overpowering pitcher. He will try to keep you off balance, change speeds.
Joe pitched an inning in the third 3 days ago against Boston. 3-1 here to Santana. Mariners bullpen #1 in the American League. Cleveland's is 4th as Santana swings through. Full count now. Strikeout and a lineout for Carlos tonight. Can't blame it on the black magic woman on that one. That was a good pitch by Joe Beimel. Carlos Santana strikes out. One out here in the 6th. Stars have aligned for the 2014 Major League Baseball All-Star Game as the best in the National League take on the American League's elite. Don't miss the action Tuesday, July 15th at 5 p.m. on Fox. Brings up Jason Kipnis, 1 for 2 today, a double to right center and a ground out to second. Kipnis missed that time with the strained right oblique. He had hurt himself warming up for the April 29th game at the Angels. At the time, he was struggling too, hitting just .234. So .254 coming into this at bat. 0-2.
Well, a completely different look for the Indians. Chris Young, 6'10" right-hander, pitching at the top of the strike zone. Beimel, the lefty, likes to pitch at the bottom of the zone. He's able to get a couple of strikes right at the bottom of the strike zone.
Good breaking ball by Joe Beimel. 2 up, 2 down via the strikeout. 2 away.
And here's a breaking ball. 77 miles an hour at the bottom of the strike zone. Good pitch.
There's line of Chisenhall. Strikeout and a double. Double to the left. Ground ball to Cano. Nice work by Beimel. 2 strikeouts and a ground out. Mariners with a 2-1 lead as we head to the home sixth. Against the Cleveland Indians. Game 2 coming up tomorrow. Our CenturyLink link to what's next. Join us at 6:30 for the pregame coverage. Josh Tomlin goes against Roenis Elias. Few insurance tallies wouldn't hurt. So we play the bottom of the sixth.
It's about that time, isn't it? Mariners to add on. Mike Zunino will lead things off. Mike pop up to first, and then he hit a ball out to left field. Brantley, the left fielder, jumped up against the wall to make the catch and eventually doubled up Morrison at first base.
Had to say another foul ball, 0-2. Mike strikes out. Gomes will apply the tag. 4th strikeout for Trevor Bauer. 1 away here in the 6th. Catch a new episode of Mariners All Access this Sunday at noon. Get exclusive player interviews, behind the scenes footage, and Mariners stories you can't find anywhere else. If you do miss Sunday's episode, tune in for re-airs throughout the week on Root Sports. Your local programming schedule, visit rootsports.com.
Michael Saunders will step in, having a night. Right off of the disabled list into the lineup, hitting 7th tonight, but he is 2 for 2. Michael with a double, had a base hit his last time up and would eventually score.
Michael coming off the right shoulder injury that was aggravated by a swing and a miss at Tampa. Earlier in the season, he'd run into the wall here in right field. Quick 0-2 hole here for the Condor. So named by Lee Tinsley a few years ago. Long swooping ability to come in and make some plays, and a long loping stride that he's got. I think the last I saw of Lee, he was with Milwaukee. Double checked on one of the coaches. Up high. Saunders 2-2. Mariners have had at least 1 hit in each inning. Lee Tinsley, I'm told, is in Cincinnati, not Milwaukee. Kipnis will cut this one off and throw out Saunders. He's retired for the first time tonight. 2 away in the 6th. And that'll bring up Dustin Ackley. He's walked twice tonight. Still looking to break that 0 for 12 that he's riding.
And we showed you Danny Farquhar getting loose in the pen for the Mariners. He will pitch the 7th.
Two and 0. Kipnis will get some more work. And he throws out Ackley. 1, 2, 3 go the Mariners in the 6th. Like Danny Farquhar is going to be taking over. Mariners lead 2-1. And in the first inning, how about Kyle Seager with a base hit here? This will score Indy Chavez, who led off the Mariners home first with a base hit, infield hit. Stole second and scores right here. Next we go to the 3rd inning. And Michael Brantley. Fly ball left field. And this will score David Murphy. Who had walked and taken 3rd on a Michael Bourne base hit. And then Brett Miller, first pitch swinging. Dumps one into center field. Michael Saunders scores on the play. That's where we are right now. 2-1.
Joe Beimel came on to pitch the 6th inning. Pitched well. 1-2-3 inning for him, including a couple of strikeouts for Joe. And Danny Farquhar will take over to pitch the 7th, his 33rd appearance on the year. 2.94 ERA. 37 strikeouts, 13 walks. Opponents hitting just .228 against Danny. Good fastball and be around 95 miles an hour. Cut fastball at 90-91. 12-6 curveball and a changeup. He will pitch to the bottom of the lineup for the Indians. Gomes, Swisher, and Murphy due up.
You called it earlier, battle of the bullpens with both of these pitchers.
Yeah, they had to work hard.
A lot of pitches. Mariners #1 bullpen in the league at a 2.64 ERA. The Tribe at 3.28, which is 4th. Gomes 0 for 2.
And it looks like the Indians have Nick Hagedorn getting loose in the pen. Oh, now it's Crockett. Hagedorn had been up.
Kyle Crockett. Insert a Where's Tubbs reference at your leisure.
Good fastball from Danny on the inside corner, 95 miles an hour.
Good pitch. Yan Gomes just murdered the Mariners last year in Cleveland. strikes out. One down here in the 7th.
Well, tough to lay off of this curveball. He throws it in a perfect spot, down and away from him. This is right after a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, well out in front of the 75-mile-an-hour curveball from Danny.
Seventh strikeout of Cleveland hitters tonight by Young, Beimel, and Farquhar. Here's Swisher, 0 for 2. Comebacker off the left instep of Chris Young, the starter, then flied out to left. On a 1. Swisher 0 for 1 against Danny. Three and 1. Farquhar last pitched on Tuesday. 2/3 of an inning, a hit, a walk, and a strikeout. Mariners 8-2 win over Boston.
Thank you, Chris. No, that helps.
3-1 to count. Tribe, they come in having lost 4 of their last 5 in this month of June, in which they're 12-10. Mariners are 15-9 in the month of June. 3-1. And a walk to Swisher with 1 away. We'll bring up David Murphy. Walk, run scored in the 3rd, strikeout looking in the 5th.
To Swisher, looked as if Danny kept trying to throw the cut fastball in there for a strike and wasn't able to find the plate with it. The left-handed hitter in Murphy. We'll see how he attacks him.
Misses away, ball 1.
And it's the cutter again, missing with the cutter off the plate away.
Ball 1.
Good changeup.
Terry Francona has managed in Philly, Boston, and now here in Cleveland. This is year 2 for him here. Left field, backing up Backley. He's got it covered. 2 outs, get back to the top of the order, and Michael Bourne. Bourne's been tough tonight, 2 for 3. Beautiful blue sky out there, and easy to track tonight. Sunday afternoon will be a different story.
Yes, it will.
Here's Bourne. Ground out the first. Base hit to right. Double to left center.
Charlie Furbush getting loose in the pen. After Bourne, you have the switch hitter Cabrera and then the lefty Brantley due up.
Good rhythm working here for Farquhar. 1-1. 2-1. Jason Castro just hit a first career walk-off homer to beat Detroit 4-3-11 down in Houston. 3-1 now.
And Danny just continues to struggle with his control, his command of the cut fastball. It looks like Lloyd not happy about it. quick conversation from pitching coach Rick Waits. We'll see what Danny comes up with.
What do you think? 2 words, throw strikes?
That usually is the way the conversation starts anyway. There's a strike.
Full count. 2 outs, man at first.
And yes, sometimes it is that simple.
We're throw Vince Lombardi out there. What the heck is going on out here? Swisher at first takes off 3-2. Bouncing ball to Morrison. He booted it, and they got a chance to get third. And he's made. Got him.
Take a break.
So Swisher being aggressive. Morrison kept his head up. Didn't sulk after booting that play at first. They get Swisher at third for the 3rd out. 2-1 Mariners. And the Department of Imagination. What would you do if you won? Good to have you with us here after a day off. Mariners back in town looking to get some more runs here. They get a 2-1 lead over the Cleveland Indians. First of 3-game series before the Mariners take off for Houston and Chicago, then come right back for Minnesota and the White Sox. Dave Sims, Mike Blowers, Root Sports Crew, Trevor Powers still in there. Here in the 7th, he's got Brad Miller, Andy Chavez, and James Jones, 9-1-2. Brad coming off an RBI single back in the 4th. He's 1 for 2 tonight. What a 1 to Brad.
When you look at the Mariners tonight, seeing Bauer out there still, you wonder Terry Francona trying to help his young pitcher out, give him every opportunity to try to get him a win. Bauer has pitched well, only down a run.
Kyle Crockett up again.
Well, I think if he gets in any trouble, maybe if he gives up a base runner, he's going to be out of the game.
Drops a breaking ball, misses, 2-2. Another good looking curveball. Brad knew it. 5th strikeout. 1 out. And the Mariners home 7th. Can you beat the best? Join millions of players right now on the only official Home Run Derby mobile game from MLB.com. Square off against your friend from around the world live in multiplayer derby mode and climb to the top of the leaderboards. Download today for free from the Apple Store, the Apple App Store, and Google Play. Top of the order, Andy Chavez. 1 for 3, runs scored, a stolen base. Strike one.
He still has a good fastball.
Yeah.
110 pitches in the game, 111 now. Well, that's fastball at 93 miles an hour. He's topped out at 94.
Andy with a base hit, infield hit in the first inning, extended his hitting streak to 5 games. Indy rides one, deep right field, gone, a home run for Indy Chavez. His first of the year. The Mariners have a 3-1 lead. Got it on a 1-1 pitch. And for Chavez, his last home run, May 30th of last year at San Diego. 36 years old. Raise your cap.
Well, Indy comes into the game hitting .266. He's really been able to bump that average up. This is his second hit of the game and his first home run of the year. And a little bit of insurance for the Mariners, and that will bring out Terry Francona.
Indy Chavez continues to pay dividends. Ball bouncing around. Who's going to end up with it? That guy does. As Lloyd McClendon said, I can't kill Indy and play him every day, but he's in the lineup today. And it pays off again here in the 7th. A 1-out solo blast, and the Mariners' lead is now 3-1. Baseball on Root Sports, being brought to you by Vern Funk Insurance. Bad luck can hit anyone. Insure with the 13th man. Vern Funk Insurance. And by Money Tree, proud to make a donation to Mariners Care for every Mariners win. And our favorite winning player, Indy Chavez, just checked in with his first home run of the season. His first since May 30th of last year at San Diego. He's got 2 hits tonight, 2 for 4, 2 runs scored, and a stolen base.
And you can see him in the dugout. Explaining to everybody the power that he has. His first home run of the year. But I'm sure he's the only. What do you think? Felix and Cano.
Oh, they're all over him right now.
No, they're all over him.
There's James Jones. Kyle Crockett. First pitch in there for a strike. Indy's first home run in 265 at bats. Jonesy tonight 1 for 3. Base hit to left in the 3rd.
Well, it came at a good time. Give the Mariners a little bit of insurance. We take a look at the numbers for Crockett. His 11th appearance of the year, 2.89 ERA. Opponents think 2.65 against him.
Jonesy goes fishing. Gomes will throw to first. 2 away.
Well, we'll take a look what Trevor Bauer did tonight. 6 1/3, 9 hits. Mariners getting 9 hits off of Bauer. 3 runs, all of them earned. 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, 111 pitches, 69 of those for strikes. Gave up 1 home run, and that was to Andy Chavez. Give the Mariners a little bit of cushion as the bullpen continues to work in this one. Chris Young going just 5 innings tonight. He'd throw a lot of pitches, a lot of foul balls off of Chris tonight.
Cano looking for a productive at bat here. He's not looked good tonight. Fly ball to center, bounce into a double play and strike out. So the 3's upside down and backwards, but hey, it happens. Popped it up. Chisenhall for the out. Highlight of the inning. Winning player, Andy Chavez. 3-1 lead for the Mariners.
Have a 3-1 lead after the Andy Chavez home run. Hi, everyone. Angie Mentink here as we head to the top of the 8th. And right now, it is time to take a look at our AT&T fan photos of the game. We're going to start off with Amanda. You know, July 11th is Guys' Night Out. Apparently tonight, Ladies' Night Out. Lovely ladies. Then we got Taylor with her buddy here enjoying the baseball game tonight. And finally, Robert with a healthy bobblehead collection, and I did notice, guys, that he is wearing the Sriracha t-shirt that they gave out. I didn't even know what Sriracha was up until that Mariners giveaway. Now I do. Watch out, having it in a milkshake. It's hot, very hot. All right, back to you guys.
Oh, I like my milkshakes just regular, nice and cold. I'm not going for a hot milkshake. No, I don't think so.
All right, Medina will take over his 33rd appearance on the year, 2.48 ERA, 30 strikeouts in the 29 innings that he has worked. Opponents hitting just 186 off of Medina.
Good night here for the bullpen.
And Charlie Furbush getting loose in the pen right now.
Cabrera, Brantley, and Santana, 2, 3, and 4 here for Medina. 4th pitcher tonight. Fouled that one off his foot. This is one of those games you're so glad that you got the #1 bullpen in the American League. Chris Young gave it everything he had. It wasn't as sharp as he's been, but he's in position to win this ball game.
He has a chance to get his 7th. Yeah, you're right. I think the other thing is, you take a look at Charlie getting loose, is the home run by Andy Chavez. I think so many times the Mariners have and for rightly so, they've leaned on their bullpen, but to continue to run them out there and ask them to hang on to a 1-run lead over 4 or 5 innings at times has been difficult. So to get that extra run helps.
Pushing the odds, isn't it? Quick first out as Cano throws out Cabrera. Are you the ultimate Northwest Mariners fan in the state of Montana? Then Root Sports is looking for you throughout the month of June, which means you only have a few days left. So get on it. Send us a photo and story using hashtag UltimateNWFanMT on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or by email at ultimatefan@rootsports.com. You can win a VIP trip for 2 to Seattle in September, personalized jersey, and more. For official rules, all you have to do is visit rootsports.com. Fireworks coming up from right behind that sign at the conclusion of this ball game. There's Michael Brantley starting tonight, the 5th leading hitter in the American League. He's lined out to short, sacrifice fly in the 3rd, and flied out to center in the 5th. One from Medina. Bouncing ball, Cano. No, make it Morrison. He'll feed to Medina, who's there. Woo, that toss is a little slow. And arriving, 2 outs.
You would like to see him get it to him a little bit earlier before he gets to the bag. You'd like for him to catch it and then run to the base and maybe not quite as much air under it. And that was close at first. They get the out. Again, the Mariners started today the #1 fielding team in the American League.
Contrasted by Cleveland, their struggles dead last. The Mariners starting to attract a lot of attention nationally with this 42-37 record. Trying to add to that. Santana, big hack. Strike 1.
Santana, switch hitter. We've seen tonight when he's hitting left-handed, the Mariners will put the shift on. Kyle Seager, the 3rd baseman, will move around to the right side of the infield. Cano, about as deep as we've seen him on the grass in right field. Morrison right on the line at first.
Drops in another strike, 0-2.
Good slider at 87 miles an hour.
Vinny Pistano warming up. Medina way out in front, 0-2. One-two pitch. Off the plate. Santana, converted catcher slash 3rd baseman. Doing the bulk of his work these days at first base for Cleveland. Andy Motu now 3-2. Jason Kipnis on deck.
I'd like to see him put him away right here. I think if he loses him, Lloyd McClellan will probably go to Charlie Furbush with the left-hander. Do Kipnis.
3-2 to Santana. Lost him. Andy Motu brings a tying run to the plate.
And here comes Lloyd McClendon.
Wants Charlie Furbush, his left-hander, to go against tough second baseman Jason Kipnis. Kipnis 0 for 6 against Charlie. See what happens when we come back. Night here at Safeco Field. First to 3 with the Tribe. Cleveland Indians in town. 3-1 lead for the Mariners, but now here in the top of the 8th, 2 outs, a man on. Lloyd McClendon's had to go to his bullpen again. He was hoping Medina would go 1, 2, 3 in the 8th. Now he brings on his left-hander, Charlie Furbush.
34th appearance. Oh, sorry, Dave. 34th appearance on the year for Charlie. A 3.75 ERA. Opponent's hitting .264 off of Charlie. Good fastballs. Fastball been 92, 93 lately with a much better slider, and he's going to need that slider against Kipnis, going to try to keep the ball away from him and protect the 2-run lead.
I know you're an infielder, but and Medina's done a lot of great stuff. But 0-2, your power pitcher, nobody on. Why would you nibble instead of just maybe just challenging him?
Well, and especially in the game situation, you're up 2 runs, and in that situation, you have to make him earn his way on. And especially when he did such a good job getting the first 2 hitters out of the way, gets ahead of Santana 0-2. If you have to throw it down the middle, you throw it down the middle.
Here's Furbush. First pitch to Kipnis.
But I can also tell you that most pitchers don't think that way, Dave. Especially really good ones, especially when they're pitching out of the best bullpen. They're going to try to make their pitches regardless of what's going on. As you take a look at Rodney getting loose in the pen. But yeah, sometimes you have to understand the situation of the game. That's a good breaking ball.
2-0. Charlie, 4th man out of the bullpen. Kipnis tonight 1 for 3 with a double. That's trouble there. Into the corner. Santana will be held at 3rd. So Kipnis with another double. Now the lead run will come to the plate. Charlie fell behind and Kipnis made him pay for it.
Well, he gets a fastball right on the inside corner, throws his hands out. You can see him pull him in tight, just trying to get the barrel to it. Charlie didn't quite jam him enough as he hits it down into the corner. And now you have a walk, and Kipnis, the double, he'll be the tying run. Mariners have done a good job holding down the Indians. 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Indians came into the game hitting .246 as a team with runners in scoring position.
Monty Chisenhall, 1 for 3. Charlie going to have to pull off his best escape act recent weeks here. Tough spot. Pretty good hitter here in Chisenhall. 2 outs, 2 on, and a 2-run Mariner lead. 0-2.
Couple of good breaking balls from Charlie. First one just get ahead, throw it over, and that last one off the plate away to get him to chase it.
Charlie way out in front, 0-2 to Chisenhall. 2 out, 2 on. There's the 0-2, foul back.
You can see the reaction of Zunino. That was too good a pitch, 0-2. Mike wanted that pitch down in the dirt. Charlie left it up.
He can't look. Here we go, 0-2. Back again.
Good fastball from Charlie at 93 miles an hour. Probably come back with the breaking ball again, maybe throw it off the plate, see if he can get him to chase it. 0-2 count.
Well, it looks calm on the outside, got to be churning inside. Oh, 0-2 pitch, Furbush to Chisenhall. Breaking ball, hit to Cano. Throws to first, that'll do it. So no runs, a hit, no errors, and 2 left. Mariners lead stays at 3-1. From the rules of wireless restrictions. Bullpen #1 in the American League. And they are holding up and living up to that distinction here tonight. Beimel, Farquhar, Medina, and Furbush.
Well, they've been a nice blanket for Lloyd McClendon with the way that all of these guys, to a man out in the pen, has pitched here in the first half of the season. Charlie comes on, a little bit of trouble, but able to work his way out if he gets the ground ball to end the inning.
Kyle Seager to lead it off here in the 8th against Kyle Crockett, 22 years old, 6'2", 170. Seager having a heck of a night. There you go, 2 for 3. Crockett, 22 years old, out of the University of Virginia. Lost a couple of days ago in the national championship. They beat 2 out of 3 by Vanderbilt in the College World Series. 0-2 to Kyle. Writes it off.
And as you might guess, Fernando Rodney getting loose in the Mariner pen.
Oh, 2 here to Seager. That would have been really good. Stayed fair.
Great. Indians have the shift on, and Kyle, a couple of late swings on the fastball over towards the left side of the infield with nobody over there.
Oh, 2 to Kyle. Seager to be followed by Morrison and Zunino. Crockett listed at 6'2", but he's long armed. Looks like he's 6'4", 6'5" out there. Only weighs $170.
Well, I think his delivery has a lot to do with that, the way he slings it up there.
Like a right-handed version of Justin Masterson.
It's a 1-2 count to Kyle, but this will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up.
Stayed with it and served it into right field for a base hit to start the Mariners' 8th.
3 for 4 night for Kyle. Pretty good breaking ball from Crockett. Kyle stays with it, pitches down the outside corner at 78 miles an hour, and he's able to keep his hands back just long enough. Just serves it out into right field. Good hitting from Kyle.
Here's Morrison. And Morrison tonight is 1 for 3. Outside for ball 1. So Kyle Seager in his last 13 games hitting at a .428 clip. He's jumped from .391 to .428 with the 3 hits tonight.
That will work.
Whew. Outstanding.
Mariners 5 games over 500 at the start of this one tonight. Kyle, a big reason why.
Morrison got a base hit in the 4th inning. Base hit to left. Doubled up after Zunino sent one to the wall in deep left center field. Tracked down by Brantley. He went to shortstop Cabrera, and they doubled Morrison off at first for a double play. Andy Chavez in the 7th inning. Insurance run for the Mariners. First homer this season. And a first in 265 at-bats dating back to May 30th of last year at San Diego. Seager in the homestand, 11 for 17 on the homestand. 647. Whew. There it is. It's out of sight. 2-1. Two and 1 here to Morrison. That'll get down for a base hit. Seager making a turn. He'll get the third. So Logan Morrison continues to pound the baseball. A 2-hit night for him. First 2 men have reached here in the 8th inning.
We'll take a look at the swing by Logan Morrison. Pitch away from him. Doesn't try to do too much. Pretty good job of staying in on the left-hander who we were talking about earlier. Kind of slings it up there.
How about Logan Morrison on this homestand? 8 for 14 now with the 2 hits this evening. So 2 on, nobody out. Terry Francona making a change. Mariners lead 3-1.
Baseball on 1st and 3rd right now. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Hi, everyone. Angie Mentink here. Coming up on Sunday, a brand new episode of Mariners All Access debuts. I hope you will tune in. All sorts of great stuff. The Mariners signed their first selection in the draft. Alex Jackson will introduce you to him. Dan Wilson and Jay Buhner got together for a fantastic cause. We'll have a complete recap of the Celebrity All-Star Softball Classic that took place right here at Safeco Field. And also, it was the Cystic Fibrosis Golf Tournament. It's an annual event. It took place yesterday on the Mariners' day off. A ton of money raised for that, and even more fun had. Guys, back to you. It's all coming up on this week's episode of Access on Sunday.
Looking forward to it. All right, Angie, thank you very much. Chance to do some work here. Mike Zunino, nobody out. Runners at the corners. Manny Pistano's first pitch way outside.
For Pistano, ERA right at 9. Only 4 innings pitched for him. 6 strikeouts over the 4 innings.
Then he had a Newport Beach, California. Got a 1-0 pitch. Another slinger. This one popped up in the infield. Catch made by Kipnis. 1 out, 2 on. Brings up Michael Saunders, who's had a good night. 2 for 3. His first game back. And Terry Francona going to make another pitching change. Bringing a left-hander. And we will step aside here at Safeco Field. Mariners 3-1 in front of Cleveland.
3-1, Terry Francona wearing out a path between the dugout and the pitcher's mound. Angie Mentink here again with you. Hey, listen, don't leave the shows up to our producers. You want to get involved here. You decide what we show you every single Sunday. I'm talking about our fan faves. You can nominate your favorite plays of the week by tweeting us using the hashtag RootFanFave, and then watch the Mariners pregame show on Sunday, 12:30, to find out the top 5 fan favorite plays of the week. For official rules, you can go to rootsports.com. I bet Endy Chavez's home run, his first since last year, that might be worthy. Guys, back to you.
All right, Angie, thank you. Washington Husky, Nick Hagedorn taking over.
Hard throwing left-hander Michael Saunders trying to get it done here with 1 out, runners on first and third. Saunders having a good night, 2 for 3 with a run scored.
And this one popped up. Third baseman Chisenhall will take care of it, foul territory. Boy, 2 outs. And that'll bring up Dustin Ackley, who's walked twice and grounded out the second.
Mariners now 2 for 8 with runners in scoring position.
Rodney is ready. Ball 1. Hagedorn lives in Seattle. Combined with Tim Lincecum back in 2006 on a no-hitter against Santa Clara. He pitched 3 innings in that game. Right into the off the facing of the booth to our right. High home plate camera.
Well, he has a good fastball. He's topped out at 95 so far.
Mariners got the first 2 men aboard. Seager, a base hit to right. Morrison, base hit to left center. A couple of pop-ups. 2 outs now on a 1-1 count to Ackley. This will go to Brantley. Well, that threat dies in the 8th. Now they bring on the closer, Fernando Rodney, to lock down this 3-1 lead and turn it into the Mariners' 43rd victory of the season. Trying to get their 16th win here in the month of June. As we summarize what happened here tonight, Mariners got on the board first. How about Kyle Seager?
Was able to drive in Indy Chavez, who just stole second base. Led the game off with a hit, stole second, and then scored on the hit by Seager.
We moved to the third inning. Cleveland got on the board. Michael Bourne. Check that. Murphy reached on a walk, got to third on the Bourne base hit, and then scores here on the sacrifice fly from Michael Brantley. 1-1 ball game in the fourth.
Brad Miller, who's been a hot hitter, gets a base hit on the first pitch and drives in a run. That'll be Michael Saunders scoring the run. Michael just back from the disabled list.
And then in the seventh inning, 1-1 pitch. Indy Chavez, first home run since May 30th of last year at San Diego. Span of 265 at-bats. Full insurance 3-1. And met rousing cheers in the dugout. He's everybody's favorite down there. They loved it. We come to you about the A at Safeco Field. Take a look at the saves leaders in the American League. Greg Holland of Kansas City, Fernando Rodney right on his tail.
He will get the bottom of the order. It'll be Gomes, Swisher, and Murphy due up against Rodney. Looking for his 22nd save.
First pitch strike. Good sign. Swing. Got fooled on that pitch.
Now it's a good changeup for Rodney. His fastball will be anywhere from 93 to 97 miles an hour, and his changeup 80-81.
Rodney pitching for the first time in 5 days. Locked up a save at Kansas City. Here's the 0-2. Outside with that 96-mile-an-hour fastball. One-two pitch. Strike three called. One down.
Perfect fastball right on the outside corner of the knees. 94 miles an hour.
Brings up Nick Swisher. 0 for 2 with a walk. Another first pitch strike from Rodney. Indy Chavez giving the Mariners a little cushion with that 7th inning home run. Right after him.
Well, they started him off with a changeup, and that was an elevated fastball at 95.
Swisher struck out more than anybody on the Cleveland Ball Club. 68 times. Oh, 2. Jumped on that one, base hit. Saunders will get it back in.
I think Rodney tried to throw it upstairs again. Didn't quite get it up high enough. That one at 96 miles an hour.
David Murphy, the hitter. 0 for 2, walk and a run scored. Slow roller. I get the out at first. Swisher to second. 2 away. Cano thought he might have had a tag on Swisher didn't work out. Second base umpire Brian O'Nora, the crew chief, in great position. Watch that play. So 2 outs. Runner at second brings up Michael Bourne. First time Bourne is facing Fernando Rodney. First pitch. Start him off with an off-speed pitch, a changeup. Another 3 first pitch strikes here by Rodney. Fireworks coming up. Big fireworks show coming up at the conclusion of this game. Here's the 0-1. 0-1. Oakland has won tonight. Texas has won tonight. And the Angels lost this evening. Line drive, right field, Saunders. Bourne stopped in his tracks as he drives home Swisher. Make this a 3-2 ball game. First run allowed by Rodney in his last 14 2/3 innings.
And it's the first hit for the Indians tonight with a runner in scoring position. It was 3 changeups in a row from Rodney. And this last one, you can see Bourne hit it right off the end of the bat. Good play by Saunders to hustle over and keep him from getting in the scoring position. Bourne with a lot of speed. I'm sure he will try to steal a base here.
So drama building here with 2 outs and a 1-run lead now. Big was that Andy Chavez home run. Strike 1 to Cabrera. Cabrera 5 for 15 against Rodney. Rando's got to bear down here. Popped it up, foul, out of play. 0-2.
Well, after 3 changeups to Bourne, he comes back with 2 good fastballs to Cabrera. That last one, 95 miles an hour.
Rodney can end it right here. Way out front of Cabrera. Bourne at first. 0-2 pitch.
Just missed the inside corner.
Rodney got to shake that one off. He thought he had it. He thought he hit the punch out.
He did just miss it, though. It was a good call.
Rodney regrouping, so's Cabrera. 1-2. 1-run ball game. Rodney with the pitch. Popped it up. Coming on is Ackley. Miller back. Miller's there. Makes the play. And the Mariners win the ball game 3-2. Chris Young becomes the winner. His 7th win, 22nd save for Rodney. And let the fireworks begin.
For Chris, his 7th win on the year. Some good nights offensively. Kyle Seager with 3 hits. Again, he has really done a good job of hitting here at Safeco Field. 3 hits for him in